All right, welcome to the fifth week of Mastering Astral Projection and day 29. So the affirmations have changed this week. The new affirmations for the morning. Um, this affirmation is, I have the ability to operate independently of my physical body. This happens naturally every night during sleep. The thought of being out of body is peaceful and freeing. The evening affirmation is, I recognize I am dreaming. I take control of my dreams. I have the power to convert my lucid dreams to an OBE. So the exercises for this week, we're moving, if you're doing the brainwave generator, we're going to week 5, the trance meditation. And this is, it seems to be kind of high energy to me because I was trying to go into trance and I was actually having a difficult time getting there. I think it might be attributable to this. I'm not sure, because even going into a deep state of meditation, I should have been able to go much deeper than I was able to, but something seemed to be holding me back. I'm not sure what it was. So we're going to be doing the entire body, 5 minutes of relaxation, then doing breath work. And for breath work, we're doing the same technique, doing the 12, 12, and 12. Except that we're doing what he's calling valving the breath. For those of you that are familiar with yoga, this would be like the fire breath, how you put tension in this area to restrict the flow of air going in and out of your body. If you're not familiar with that, it's kind of this section right here. It's actually the glottis, and the easiest way to get to understand it, I think, is to pull your chin back, right? So pull it back and then tilt it down just a slight bit. And then you tighten the glottis. So you're restricting the breath going in and out of the body. You obviously don't need to make audible sounds like that. But this is a technique, actually, that Samuel Sagan uses in his Awakening the Third Eye. So I'm familiar with it. He claims that it actually helps to move you deeper into a state of being able to recognize the energy that's going on in the third eye area. So you're going to be doing this valving the breath while you're doing the 12, 12, and 12. Next, you're doing the energy body stimulation, just like before, feet, hands, and arms, and legs. I'm doing something a little bit different. I was doing brush strokes, starting from the tips of my toes and then going all the way up to the hip joint. But now I'm brushing back and forth, as if I'm painting a wall. So back and forth strokes. It seems to work a little bit better, actually. And then you're doing energy raising the full body circuit, starting from the tips of the toes all the way up to the top of the head, and then dumping that energy into the energy center behind the navel. That's getting powerful, actually. The more I'm working with it, the more I'm feeling it. So you're sponging, and focus on the sponging sensation. Then you're going to stimulate all the primary energy centers, so starting with the base and going all the way up to the crown. That beater technique that I was talking about, so like the hand mixer with the beater on the end, it's getting really good, so I highly recommend doing that. I'm feeling stimulation really fast now by using that imaginary beater at high speed. In fact, you don't even need to use it for that long and you've got stimulation in the primary energy centers. So we're going to be working with trance this week. The first trance exercise is the elevator technique. It's pretty simple. You just imagine that you're in an elevator and you're looking at a wall. It's like a glass elevator and the wall is going up as the elevator is going down and you're watching it. I was using a brick wall. You could use dirt, you could use dirt with rocks, you could use cobblestone, whatever you feel is important to get the sensation of moving downward in the elevator. And while you're doing that, let your body remember what it's like to actually move downward in an elevator. So feel that sinking feeling, that dropping feeling, and keep watching your wall move upward as you sink lower and lower. I tried using numbers. I started at 1,000 and was imagining these big white numbers on the wall as if I were going down floor by floor. You could try that. I got to 950 from 1,000, and then I realized that it was actually a little distracting to use the numbers because I was using my mind to think about them. However, it also did clear my mind of any extraneous thoughts. So you might try it until you don't need to. I really made an effort to go into trance, and I worked on this for, well, let's see, I remember I sent an email. Yeah, I was at this for over an hour today, so I didn't feel like I really got anywhere as far as going into the trance state. I did have an experience, though. I imagined that this large butterfly was coming into my consciousness around here, and I started following the butterfly and following its wings. They were big wings going out to the periphery of my vision in my mind's eye, and it seemed to help me go a little bit deeper, but I couldn't maintain it for very long. I did that just as an experiment because I wanted to move into a deeper state of trance. But like I said, I had a feeling that the astral projection brain wave generator, was actually preventing it. But I'm not sure. So, but it's all the experimentation that's going to lead to the illumination of what's working and what isn't. In the book, I'll start talking about periodically throughout the week different sections of this area of trance. The thing I want to note is the different states of trance that you might experience that he talks about. Oh, I also wanted to make a note that putting your body to sleep while holding your mind awake is the critical skill in astral projection, as Robert Bruce talks about it. So you want to pay attention to that. That's what we're trying to achieve here, is letting the body go to sleep but keeping the mind awake. A way to do this while you're sleeping in bed, or I'm sorry, if you're not doing the exercise sitting up and you're laying down, laying in bed, you can try keeping your forearms up at perpendicular to the bed, and then each time you start to fall asleep, your hands will drop and it'll wake you back up. So that's something that you can do to make sure that you don't fall asleep. The differences between the trance states: light trance is the alpha level. It's like the daydream state. You might feel a heavy wave of warmth come over the body, slight difficulty in focusing, patterns of light and color may be seen occasionally. You might feel the cobweb sensation on the face. I was actually getting that today. I was getting these little twitches in my mouth. Kind of hoping it would increase, but... this is deep physical relaxation. The full trance is the theta level. It's what he calls medium depth sleep. Noticeable wave of heaviness and a slow falling sensation. And you really need to concentrate your mind to make sure that you don't fall asleep at this point. The room around you feels larger, you feel thicker, and there's an emptier atmosphere. You might get bone tickling sensations, slower than normal thoughts, and but you need to actually really focus on keeping the mind clear of thoughts at this point. The dream mind might actually become active at this point, so you might have, this happens to me quite often actually, where I'll start to get visions of things, and it's the dream state, and you're kind of slipping back and forth, so you really need to maintain your awareness at this point, and that's where he talks about staying in a place of discomfort, making sure that you're not too comfortable while you're doing the trance work. So he suggests like a hard chair to sit on so that your sits bones actually feel a subtle state of discomfort. My experience is that just sitting upright, sitting up straight, you'll start to feel aches and pains in different parts of the body. They'll be enough to keep you from falling asleep most of the time. Deep trance is the delta level of deep sleep. Respiration and heartbeat slow. and the blood circulation slows. Falling sensation is common. This is also where you might experience paralysis, full body paralysis, which we'll talk about at another time. And if you think you've fallen too deep into a state of trance, bring your awareness out by making a slight shift in your body in some way. So, I wanted to note that last night was a very interesting dream experience. This was a very unusual dream type for me. I went to sleep. I had a hard time sleeping all night, and it seemed that I was actually moving in and out of a possible OBE. I was dreaming that I and a bunch of people were requested to make tacos. And it was kind of this last minute request. And everybody was like, whoa, we have to make tacos now. Which meant we had to, grind up chilies, and we had to make salsa, and we had to find the meat, and we had to thaw it, and we had to heat it up, and we had to cook it, and then we had to add sauce to it and spices to it, and we had to do the tortillas, and there were all these things that went into having to make these tacos from scratch. And so all night long I was tossing and turning, waking up and going, oh my god, I've got all these tacos to make. And I was aware of being in bed, and there was a conflict between the part of myself that knew that I was in bed and the part of myself that knew that I had to make these tacos. So it was kind of like an anxiety dream in a way, except that I had such an awareness of being in bed and having to make tacos, and it went on all night long. I remember it started when it was dark, it ended when it was light, and I got up early this morning. That's an interesting dream state to be in, though, where you have this split awareness, that you're dreaming and yet awake at the same time. And that could have led to a lucid dream had I had a little bit more control over it, but I didn't quite turn it into a dream where I took possession of the dream. But it's just interesting to note. So anyway, I think that's it for today. I think that's enough, actually. It's a long post, so good talking with you.